Charlie Duck said, I just got home. He'll be on in 5.
All right, welcome to Shooting Hoops in the Boot. I'm Mark Manley. That is Jeremy Abrams and Chris Brown. How we doing, fellas?
All right.
Man, doing good, man. Doing good.
Got them Bulldogs fired up yet? Oh, shucks.
You got them fired up. Kids from 2 to 80, they're all fired up, baby, in Portisville.
That's right. That dog pound been hooping and hollering, boy, all tournament long, boy, and all playoff season, I should say. Man, it's been a great trip for the Bulldogs. But let's talk about let's get into that quarterfinal matchup that we also covered between the Puxco Indians and the South Iron Panthers. Puxco gets the win over South Iron, 61-43, guys. And the story is Jet Hancock, man. That kid was on fire, 3 after 3 after 3. I said Puxco took their jet and rode it all the way to Columbia, my man. Thoughts on that, Jeremy?
Hey, he's a big old jet airliner, man. I'll tell you what. I watched that game. You guys had the privilege of being there, but I watched it, and suffices to say, I still don't know a whole lot other than the fact from what we saw in the Puxco versus Valley matchup. But I do think South Iron was the stronger team, and to be honest with you, I watched the majority of the game, and it just seemed like Puxco kept the ball away from South Iron and then made the shots whenever they wanted to. Dare I say, Puxco may have looked better against South Iron, who, like I said, I think was a better team. And if they're going to play like that, in that caliber, I'm going to stick with my pick saying Puxco's going all the way.
Man, I watched some of it too, and I also went out to Southern Made. Hey, we give them a plug on here, Mark. They made us some shirts, man, and some merch. We got to wear and listen to some that game on the radio some, and then came back home and finished it up with you. Man, Puxco's just another animal. I mean, they've got to be the favorite going into this Final Four. Horses all over the place. I didn't hear or see a weak link on that team at all. Thought South Iron would put up more of a fight because I predicted that Puxco would win by 5 or less. I was blown away. I mean, them Puxco Indians, Puxico Joe, he got them rolling right now. And if you're a Puxco Indian fan, you got a whole lot to smile about. I can tell you that much.
Boy, that ain't a lie there, boy. They do have a lot, man, and they brought a great crowd, man. Both fan bases were loaded, man. That place was packed to the rafters, elbow to elbow. And you could hear the radio on the broadcast of mine as they were right beside me, radio station covering Puxico, man. And then a lot of media was in the house, pictures, video galore, man, and just a great atmosphere, man. Nothing like high school playoff basketball, man. And it was, I tell you what, it lived up to this hype. Give credit to Puxico, man. They did a number on Sawyer Huff, man. He did not have any big numbers, man, and kept him quiet. Harlow had a good game for the Panthers, but other than that, but don't think South Iron's going anywhere, man. They got some young talent on that bench, man, and they're going to be around for quite a few years to come, man.
Yeah, Mark, for those that didn't get to see the picture, of course, I know you sent it to us, but tell them about the line. I mean, that looked like a concert or, NFL or NBA game or something. I saw the line, the people waiting to get into that game.
Yeah.
Man,
Charlie in, man.
Man, my camera broke. 1 second. I got to switch devices.
Here we go with
All right.
this.
But yeah, man, they were lined up out the door and around the building, man, before they get it. On both ends, they had two doors, one in the front and one in the back they were using. And, man, they were just lined up galore, man.
I think that's crazy. I saw the picture and I was like, you got to be. I showed it to my wife. I said, this is a high school basketball game, honey. And she's like, good Lord.
But I can tell you last year when Puxico and South Penn played at Three Rivers, it's the same way, man. Puxico brings their town, man. I'm telling you, they are props to them. And that's got to make those kids feel great, man, just knowing they're going to have a crowd no matter where they go.
Yeah, kudos to Puxico too for, like you said, that year they had last year was, man, they were steamrolling along, and then to get beat on that last second shot, Ty Campbell, put the old bow and arrow through the heart. But for them to come back this year, man, and have the year that they're having, you got to give them kudos to not falter and to fight back and fight through it.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say they haven't forgot about that heartbreaking shot.
Yeah, I think that's probably the motivation this year, man, is what's keeping them going. And they're just talented, man. You look at 1 through 5, man, Burchard, Zimmerman, Long, Hancock. Man, they're just loaded guys.
Yeah, they look like they played together for a while too. I mean, they knew where each other was going to be, and we talk about passing and that interior passing, but they pass all over the place. And I was just impressed. I hadn't got to see them but a few games, but man, they was impressive to me.
Yeah, and as we were just talking about South Iron and that group they got, that young group, as Michael Tucker, one of our listeners out there. Thanks for joining us, by the way, Mike. Yeah, man, that freshman group, Chilton and them boys, man, they got some size too, some height. 6'4", 6'6". I think Crumb's a junior, but he's like 6'6", and then Chilton, the big man, freshman, he's like 6'4", man. So
yeah, things ain't so bad at South Ironland because they do have that motto, "In Dinkins we trust." And man, what a coach they got there. Just a Hall of Fame coach. Let's just call it what it is. I don't know if he's been elected to the Missouri Hall of Fame. If he hadn't, he should be, because he has brought some teams in the past.
And you talking about a team that fought a lot of adversity throughout the year just to get where they were.
Oh man.
Sawyer lost his father, and then they lost a player that he tried to come back during the quarterfinal the other night, and he re-injured his knee, but he toughed it out and finished playing in Daggett, man. And man, just the things they went through this year, and to be where they went, man, what that says a lot as them as people, man, as a group. And congratulations to South Iron, even though you bailed out in the quarterfinal, man. Nothing to be ashamed of with everything you went through, and just kept that train rolling, man.
And I still have to give kudos to the South Iron crowd, like you mentioned. They were there too. And you remember Sawyer Huff told us on the air that population of the town that they're in is less than 400. So you talk about a community, county-wide embracing their team. They got a lot to look forward to in the future. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Charlie, man, what do you think? Your Puxico Indians, you've been saying all year long, they're our number one team. So,
first of all, they're not my Puxico Indians. All right, let's get that out the way. I bleed red like everyone else, but they just another day, another great win for them. They keep on racking them up, and just you look in the future, they play this Canton team that looks strong, and that's going to be a good one. But South Iron, I really thought it was going to be, a back and forth. But whenever I was seeing score updates, I was just kind of like shocked a little bit about seeing some of these scores.
Yeah, I said even on my broadcast, I think the first half, I would beg, I don't know the stats, but Puxico had to shoot at least 60% or so, man. They were red hot. Hancock was just tearing it up from the outside, man. And he just wasn't missing.
Yeah, and like I said, Charlie, before you got on the air, we were actually, me and the family were out to eat, but I had the game sitting there on the table, being obviously the great husband and father I am. But I was watching the game, and it seemed like every single time, it just looked like Puxico was playing keep away. I swear they were on the other end of the court almost every time I looked at the camera, just not letting South Iron even get a shot. So, they were doing something right to win that big against a great team. And back to you.
Yeah, looks like Glow's not going to be able to join us here a little later. She got conflict there, and but Maggie still will come on, and we'll talk to them girls here in a little bit. Chris, let's talk about Saturday's game, man. The Portersville Bulldogs did it, quarterfinal, and defense wins championships, and I think Portersville turning that defense up like they did, boy, wow. I never seen that coming. Second half, only giving up 4 points. So
Man.
let's recap that game for us there, Chris.
Yeah, it was another packed house, and Portersville, they got a little lucky because you don't normally get to host the sectional and the quarter final both. I mean, that's kind of a rarity, I would think. Being around basketball as long as I have been, to be able to host both of those important games, was awesome for Portersville and the Bulldog community. And man, they showed up in droves. They were all camoed out, and they had black camo out is what they called that game. And man, it was camo and black on the left side, and Portersville blue on the right side, and then of course Steelville had they brought a good crowd too. But it started out a little bit sloppy. Mark, me and you talked about it during we had talked about it. And we ain't really saying nothing that probably a lot of people wasn't thinking. A lot of shots was missed. There were several turnovers. I think there was a lot of nerves on both sides, coming into this thing. And of course, Glow Farmer, she had 4 points in that first quarter. Let's talk about Jasmine Hurd for a second. She's a sophomore point guard for Steelville. She matched Glow in the first quarter as well with 4 points. She ain't that tall. She's not really that big. But man, she put on a show, even with the, medical issues that she had. I believe she had an asthma attack, there for a little bit and kind of, had to, stop playing. We had to, everybody had, much prayers to her. And cause man, she was giving it her all. The whole gym knew that. But it was 8-6 Portersville after one. As a Bulldog fan, that wasn't enough for me. I was a little bit nervous, wishing it'd be more than that. See what the second quarter holds. And Glow Farmer with another 4 points in the second quarter, knocked down a couple free throws. Of course, Janai Smith, she knocked down a couple free throws as well. Taryn Irby, our 3-point shooter, she had some trouble. Couldn't find the basket. I'm not sure how many threes she shot in the first half, but she missed 3 or 4. I know that, man, if we'd have got a couple of them to go down, maybe the lead would have ballooned even more. But, Jasmine Hurd, once again, she had 7 points in the second quarter, finished the half with 11, and the Portersville was leading 22-16. I was still nervous. Mark, you seen the first half. What'd you think?
Yeah, like I said, I thought both teams come out a little sloppy, like you said, and I think they were feeling the pressure early on, man. And then I don't know what Coach Fowler said at the half, but boy, she must have lit some fire underneath them girls because they come in second half, man. They just played all out, man. Like they knew that there was no tomorrow if they lost. You know what I'm saying? That's how they played. And we talked about Irby's missing threes, man. I said, and I told you at halftime, I said, if Irby starts hitting, they're going to run away with this thing, man, because she had a lot of good looks and just couldn't go down. But hey, props to the shooter, because that's what she is. She never quit shooting, buddy. And finally, she got them to start going down. And then that defense, once they turned that pressure up, all them turnovers by Steelville, man, and Portersville just put it on them second half.
Yeah, defensively, Emery Perkins, she in the game in Steelville's sectional game, she knocked down like 4 threes in the first quarter and 3. She had 7 for the game. She's a sophomore sharpshooter as well. They held her. She didn't even have a 3-pointer for the whole game. Third quarter, the Lady Dogs come out. Man, they just, they held. Emery Perkins had 2 points in the third quarter, and then Sylvia Davis had 2 points in the fourth quarter. That was all the offense for the Steelville Lady Cardinals. As Glow Farmer and Maggie Priggle. We'll have Maggie on the show here in a little bit. Man, they just showed out. Maggie Priggle, I tell you what, she's she doesn't get a lot of the accolades that Janiyah Smith or Taryn Irby or maybe even Glow Farmer gets. But I'm gonna tell you what, she does a lot of the dirty work. She gets a lot of rebounds, and she gets a lot of offensive rebounds. She blocks some shots. She's a force down in that paint for Coach Kelly Fowler, and she had 16 points. She came out with 6 points in the third quarter, had 4 in the fourth, finished the game with 16 points. Of course, Glow Farmer, she just doing what she normally does. Her and Dee Dee Arterbridge are two, I've talked about Antonio Hickenbottom being one of the best, one-on-one defenders that I've seen in high school. These two girls here, their defense is top tier. They're actually sisters. We got to meet, their mother before the game and talk with her a little bit. But, man, they play defense alike. I can tell you that much. And just what a day. Portersville ended up winning 53-20. Janiyah Smith, she got her 1,000th point there. First field goal in the fourth quarter. She was 10 short. She liked 10 points, getting 1,000 coming in. She finished the game with 12. It was nice that Coach Kelly Fowler had a timeout to spend, with a big lead and everything. It just all worked out to perfection. It just took a little bit longer than I would have liked for it to get going. But in the end, man, Portersville just showed who the better team was. The Lady Dogs are well on their way to the Final Four. First one in the history of the school. For them, of course, I'm not, the boys' side's been there quite a bit. Not in a while, but man, kudos to Coach Kelly Fowler, Chelsea Bidwell, all the Lady Bulldogs staff, administration at Portersville. The last two games, the sectional and quarterfinal games, been it's been such a treat for me. And, just being an implant Bulldog fan for this first year, I can't imagine how the ones that's been a fan for, long time feels about this. And so I'm proud of them, and I know the community's proud of them as well. But like like Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant, I love him. Like he said, job's not finished.
That's right.
So, Jeremy, got any thoughts on the Pville ladies?
Yeah. The two thoughts. One, Chris, you interviewed Coach Fowler after the game. I tell you, the more I've got to see her, whether it be on the show or on the court or in the interviews, I just feel like she beams positivity. I think and just like the player said with us, she really, as Janiyah was talking about, she's more than just a coach. And you can see that. You can see that just the way that she presents herself. And I think that's, you just love to see the camaraderie between coaches and players because it's not always there. You can have great teams with players not liking their coach, and likewise, this team loves their coach, and I think it's clear why. And the second thing I have to say is what I'm gonna remember the most, at least because it's gonna be the most fresh. Whatever happens here in the future from years and years to come, the fact that in a quarterfinal matchup to make it to the Final Four, you hold a team to 4 points in the second half. I'd have to go back and look in all the history books and everything and all the archives, but I don't know that I've ever heard of that happening this late, this far into the playoffs, holding a team to 4 points in the second half. Kudos to you, Portersville, and the defense. And you mentioned Maggie Priggle, and we're going to have her on later. You're right. Every time that I've seen the Bulldogs, there's one player sticks out in certain different ways. Priggle, it seems like, is always somewhere underneath the rim. If not, she's very, very close to it. And you're right. The offensive rebounds was always a little note that I had in one of the games. I think that you were covering. I was sitting next to you doing stats. And, yeah, you can name off any one of the players, and they've all got some kind of certain spark plug to them. And I just say that, once again, no coincidence what I'm wearing today. I'm on the bandwagon. I've been on it most of the season. And if there's room for more, folks, if you're listening, because this is a very good, wholesome team to watch and root for. And I say, from Caruthersville, go Bulldogs. We're behind you.
There you go.
Let's talk about, let me just say this about Coach Fowler, which they call her Coach K. One interesting thing about her is I think she adjusts her coaching style because to what's going on. We like the Steve Fowlers. We like I'm gonna bring up Craig Rogers. We like those style and Lamont Bell because man they'll get in their players at the drop of a hat when they need to, and don't think that Coach Fowler won't, because I've seen her before. But she also understands, I believe, that she doesn't necessarily have to do that. And when the way her girls is playing right now, she hadn't had to really dig into them too much. Now that may change here at Mizzou Arena when they start, things get a little tougher from here on out. But man, what an awesome, phenomenal coach Coach Fowler is. Can't say enough about her. And just a nice person as well. Everything that I've had to do with her, she's just been really, really nice. And them girls in Portersville is really, really lucky that they got a Coach Fowler on their staff. And, that's for sure.
Yeah, we had a nice conversation with her mom pregame there.
Mm-hmm.
Come over and gave us some Portersville merch as well. So, man, we racked up in the Portersville merch over the weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks to Coach Fowler's mom and then Southern Maid there. Charlie, any thoughts on the Lady Dogs?
Their defense is astounding, really. I was sitting there in St. Louis watching the game, and I would keep on checking my phone. I'd see the score, right? And I was like, okay, well, they're kind of playing it close. And then I look, and I'm like, oh, they let up 2 points. And then I look again. Oh, they let up 2 points again. And so I show it to my mom, and she's like stunned here. We're trying to watch college basketball, and she's over here like, how'd they only give up 4 points in a quarterfinals game? It was just like a really astounding defense, really shocking defense that they played. I mean, holding the team to 4 in a half of any game is impressive, but especially a quarterfinal game when you're 1 game away from Columbia.
Yeah, +2 guys. Steelville had a 6-foot center named Hannah Turnbow that I thought was going to be. I pregame I mentioned that her and Maggie Priggle was going to have a battle. They held her scoreless. Now she missed a couple of free throws. She missed several. She missed some shots down low. I mean, that defense was all over the place for them. And I think to hold that 6-footer to 0 points, that right there, that says a lot too.
Yeah. All right, guys. The ladies are in the house. They're in the studio back there just itching to get on this Shooting Hoops in the Boot podcast. So we're going to bring them in. We got Maggie Priggle and Glo Farmer, who has made an appearance. Hello, ladies.
Hey.
How are you ladies doing?
We're good. Yes, we're good.
All right. Congratulations on winning your quarterfinal and headed to Columbia. How does that feel being the first team from the city of Portersville girls team to head to the big house to play for a state title?
It feels pretty good. Yeah, like a big accomplishment. Mm-hmm.
How's it going to feel playing on that college court? Same dimensions, but it's an SEC court, which is a big Division I conference there. So do you think you'd be a little intimidated stepping on that University of Missouri court?
I think we got it. Yeah.
Got it. Good job. Well, tell us a little bit about the ball game going in Steelville, and what was the game plan? Because I tell you what, I don't know what happened at halftime, but you girls come out second half and y'all put that defense on that Steelville team, and they just couldn't do nothing with you.
Going into it, we knew they were a shooting team, so we knew we were going to have to get in their faces a lot, and I think we did that. Play good defense, rebound good. That's what we went in knowing we had to do.
All right, Chris, what you got for the girls?
Well, ladies, thank you for joining the show. I've kind of watched you ladies play probably, 10 games this year and been real impressed from what I've seen, a lot here lately. Maggie, we'll start with you. I'd mentioned in the pregame before, it was going to be you against Hannah Turnbow. I know that the 6-footer, I just told the guys, she had a pretty decent game in their sectional game that they played. What was your thoughts and your mindset on having to play against a 6-footer? Because it was going to probably be you. Of course, Coach K might have mixed some more, but it was primarily going to be Maggie Priggle against Hannah Turnbow, and to shut her out. I mean, what was your mindset facing her going into the game?
I've gone up against some pretty tall girls before, so I wasn't too worried about it, but I was aware of her height and just tried to work around it.
Another thing too, and I talked with Coach K about this. Jasmine Hurd, the point guard for Steelville, she had an asthma attack, as we all know, and you seemed like you girls was kind of rolling at that point. Of course, health, takes precedent, and I didn't want anybody to take what I had asked about the wrong way. But from a sports perspective, because this was a huge game, to have to stop, playing like you did because of what happened. What was you girls thinking about whenever you had to take that time out? I think you guys was on a run at that point. What was you thinking about when all that went down?
I think we were just thinking like we got to go out there, act like nothing happened, go out there, play hard. Don't. Yeah, just go out there and keep going on a roll and not let it stop us. Yeah, keep the momentum up that we had.
We've had Janiyah on the show before. I'll let each one of you speak on this. Tell me about Coach K. What does Coach Fowler mean to you guys? She is a phenomenal coach, and I'll scream it from the rafters. You ladies are lucky to have her. What does each one of you feel? What are your feelings with Coach K and what she brings to you guys to get ready to play these basketball games?
We love her. She's great, and she's not only a great coach, but just a good person. And she pushes us to the best that we can be because she knows we have potential. And she works us good. Okay, so let's turn the page on that a little bit, and let's talk about what we got coming up. You got Principia, the Lady Panthers. They knocked you guys out. I'm not sure. I think Glow, you was probably a starter last year. Is that right? And maybe Maggie, did you come off the bench? Do I got that right?
Wait, I don't think I didn't start.
Maybe both of you came off the bench, but you were actually there. You were at the game. What's the mindset? Is there a little revenge factor going on there? Tell me a little bit about that.
We definitely want to win and get
our revenge because we lost to them by 8 points, was not that much.
Right.
So we're just trying to get our revenge back. Beat them. Yeah.
What have you watched any film? Because actually, I watched the Principia Centralia game today. Studied it, watched it. I was pretty impressed with Principia and what they got. This team, to me, looks like they're going to be a lot better, than what you guys have played in the last 2 games anyway. Nothing against Woodland, nothing against Steelville. But they got some athletes, and they run about 9 deep, kind of like what you guys do as well. I was pretty impressed as there's a 6'2" lady on that team. I'm sure you guys know about her. Her name is Deja Scott. She was a freshman last year, and she put up, 18 points and 15 rebounds in that championship game. She had 19 points against Centralia. How you guys what's the game plan without saying too much? How to stop her? Maggie, and a lot of it would be on you.
I'm just going to have to be big on her and make sure she doesn't catch the ball. And if she does, I just got to be tall.
Glow, you're probably going to have your chances with her too, because I'm sure that Coach Fowler's, someone like her, and I know the Centralia as well, they mixed and matched with her. And anytime she got the ball down low, not only was there 2 players, there was 3 Centralia players on her. Glow, what are your thoughts about her? And I know they got other weapons all over the court, but it seems like to me the offense runs through her first. What are your thoughts about her, and what are you planning on doing to stop her?
We're gonna double down on her, not let her score too much, keep her under her average points that she scores. And yeah, I think we got her, hopefully.
Well, I enjoyed you ladies. Thank you so much for being on the show, because I know you guys got a lot going on right now. And the Boot Hill Sports Network, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be audio. We'll have the audio coverage of the game. It starts at 2:00 on Wednesday, and then hopefully we'll be playing in that 6:00 game on Thursday. So, ladies, proud of you. Proud of the whole team. Wish we could have the whole team on here. Maybe we'll do that sometime or another. But thank you guys for coming on, and I'm going to let Jeremy. I know you probably got a few questions for the Portersville Stars.
Sure. Absolutely. First of all, ladies, congratulations. Like you said, it's a milestone, something the Portersville ladies have never done before. You're in the Final Four. Obviously, you can see behind me, I am the voice of the Tigers, but I'm on your bandwagon, just so you know. This isn't an accident, this shirt here. So I've got the privilege of being at several of your games this year. You guys are for sure a force. And first of all, I got to ask you, is there someone in the background coaching you right now?
No.
No, there's nobody.
Okay, I thought so. You look over and get an answer there for a second, because that leads me into, I feel like you guys have done interviews before, because you seem poised and ready for a lot of these questions that Chris and Mark were throwing at you.
We've done a few.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can tell. But again, it's the thing that's really stuck out to me this year is your defense, for sure. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking any of your shooting abilities. We talked before you girls came on about both shooting and rebounds and how good you are at that. I want to know what it's like, because, like I was telling the guys, I'd have to go back and look in the archives. But to be in a quarterfinal matchup and to hold a team to 4 points, I just want to know, you guys were on the court, you ladies were on the court. How'd that feel to hold a team to 4 points in an entire quarter in a quarterfinal matchup where the winner goes to Mizzou and the loser goes home?
It felt pretty good. I felt like we were just on fire and just really getting steals and going at it.
Yeah, because we've lost other years, so it was like we really needed to win this because it means a lot to us. Win, and it's never happened before.
Exactly. How much? Because we I know you've noticed it throughout the entire season. The crowds have gotten bigger and bigger and stronger, and is going to keep on getting more and more. How much does the crowd mean to you guys when they're into it and behind you on every shot and then every block and steal on defense?
It definitely helps a lot to have that energy in the gym.
Yeah, I think it gives us momentum, especially whenever they're cheering loud for us. Because usually time we don't have that crowd, and I think the crowd really helps us to get out of our heads. It's okay. Everybody's cheering for us. They're all happy. Everything's okay whenever they're cheering. It gives us makes us happy.
Well, I'll say this briefly, and then I'll hand it over to Charlie. I wish I could be there. I'm rooting for you girls, and I just want to congratulate both of you on being part of something historic, something the town of Portersville has never seen before. And is there anything that Coach K has told you about that I'm going to stick with that second quarter? That's going to be in my mind for years and years to come, being in the place that you did it in. Are you taking that second quarter, anything away from that as you head into this tough match against Centralia?
Principia.
Principia, I'm sorry. You knocked off. Yeah.
I think just come out in third quarter going hard, because that's usually where we struggle at, coming out in third quarter and then being less momentumous, So we just need to come out after halftime and just play the best that we can, because that's when it matters, because that's when we usually do our, not as good.
Well, just one thing, you guys, you click on all cylinders. I think you got a wonderful team. You guys all seem very close, very in touch with each other. And once again, I wish you the absolute best of luck. Bring home that hardware to Portersville. At least one of our teams is making it. And so you got a lot of fans from your neighbors down south. I promise you that. And Charlie, I'll send it over to you, buddy.
First of all, congratulations on advancing to the Final Four, going to Columbia. It's a big deal for not just the city of Portersville, but for the Boot Hill as a whole, and for just everyone in this region. But my my only question is, what do you guys feel like is different about your team compared to the other three that are in the Final Four with y'all?
I think honestly we are a very close team and we're all good friends. We have good connections with each other and I think we have a lot of energy and yeah.
And really just to hone in on the fact that you guys are going to Columbia as juniors, how does it feel having to now travel about 3 or 4 hours away to go play this game against a team that's also going I'm sure Principia is not going as far, but still that travel difference, how does that feel?
It's definitely going to be hard to go all the way up there and play in a big gym like that, but I think we just need to have confidence and we'll be good.
What she said.
Thank y'all for coming on the show. That's all the questions I got. But thank y'all. Congratulations on going to Columbia. We're rooting for you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, ladies. We sure appreciate it. And we will see you Wednesday in Columbia.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, parade
Yeah.
tomorrow, 10 o'clock. It's going to go down Main Street. If you're able to come, we're going to send them off in blue style to Columbia as we got the dogs going to be on a farewell parade, and I can't wait for that. I'm gonna try to get downtown tomorrow, and hey, it's on and popping in Portageville.
Hey, since they're going to Mizzou, I might bring the Mizzou ambulance down there to the parade, and
Truman.
we'll ride in there with Truman.
That's
All right, ladies. Congratulations once again, and we will see you tomorrow at the parade, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that is Maggie Priggle and Glow with the mo. Ain't that right? Glow with the most. Join
most
us
defense.
from the Lady Bulldogs. Yes. And awesome interview, man. They are two great young ladies and proud to have them come on our Shooting Hoops in the Boot podcast. But they got a big task ahead of them. Principia. And we know all too well about Principia as they went toe-to-toe with Cooter in the boys bracket a couple years ago, man, and outcome there. So maybe they will get that victory for the Boot Hill and for the town of Portageville and bring home a state title. Chris, I know you scouted today. You scouted Principia a little bit. Give us a little thought.
Well, they start a freshman, and they start two sophomores, a junior and a senior. Let's talk about the freshman for a minute. Logan Love is her name. She's a 5'5" point guard. I'm going to tell you what, she reminds me a lot, and I mean a lot, of Amaya Johnson from Hayti. She's got handles. Comparison. She's got handles. She can shoot. She sets her teammates up well. She don't make many. I didn't see a minimal mistake one. Now, keep in mind, I only did watch one game, but I was very, very impressed with her. And like I say, they've got a sophomore, 6'2", Deja Scott. She looks like a D1 player right now. I know she had 18 points, 15 rebounds in the championship game. Last year they lost. They lost the Class 2 championship to Skyline last year, 61-47. But she was a freshman in that game, and she had those kind of stats. She had 19 points. She had about 10 rebounds against Centralia. Like I say, to me, she looks like a D1 player. And she's still got 2 more years of high school basketball, but I know that, Coach K and them is going to have a game plan for her. They also got a senior, Jayla Hawkins is her name, 5'7" guard who had 10 points. She can shoot. Their offense, they look to go down low to Deja Scott quite a bit. She posts up, and usually the other 4 players are set up around the perimeter. They'll kick it inside, and Centralia, they were double and triple teaming her, and she was finding the open shooter. I think they shot 3 for 17 from the 3-point line. which wasn't very good. They missed a ton of threes, but I was just really impressed with the youth on that, and their defense. They play man to man full court. And they done it the whole game. I think there was one point in the second quarter for maybe about 4 minutes where they played a 2-3 zone, but most of the game was a man to man full court. Whoever's man was bringing it up, usually it was the Logan Love girl. She defended. They're just athletic defenders, and all 5 of them. And like I say, none of their players had more than 3 fouls. They're well coached. They got a full coaching staff on that bench. We'll talk about, how Principia, they're a private school. They got a head coach and 4 assistants on that bench. And each one of them's coaching them girls up, which is an extra thing to have. But it's all going to come down to the play on the court. And I think that, the Lady Dogs, they only lost by 8 last year, and so they're going to have it, they're going to be ready. And they're, I put, like I said about Coach Dinkins, in Fowler we trust in Portersville. And she's going to have a game plan, her and Coach Bidwell, Chelsea Bidwell. And I just can't wait for tip-off. It's going to be an interesting game. Principia is very, very good. And, the winner of that game, hopefully it'll be our Lady Dogs. We'll get to move on, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And once again, we'll have all the audio coverage of that game. And we also will have audio coverage of the Puxco Indians and Canton Tigers doing battle in that Class 2, guys. And that's ought to be a heck of a matchup. Charlie, give us a little insight on that Puxco Canton game.
Really, Puxco is coming in red hot right now after I don't want to mince words here, kind of steamrolling through their first 2 games. I mean, 18-point win against South Iron at South Iron and a 34-point win against Valley. Well, Canton's coming in here after a 32-point win against Clopton at Clopton, I'm pretty sure, and then a 5-point win against Harrisburg. Both teams are coming in. Puxco's coming in at 27-3. Canton's coming in at 24-5 right now. But the big thing to circle, Puxco is 15-0 on neutral sites / tournaments, while Canton is 10-4. Puxco has not lost a game that has been home or away this year. They've just came in and won won the Bloomfield Christmas tournament, won both of their conference titles, and have won their district games and 2 sectionals and quarterfinals. While they're also scoring and holding teams to not much. They're averaging right now 69 and allowing 45, while Canton's scoring around 64 and letting up 53. So if Canton really has a shot in this game, they just need to try and defend the stars of Puxco, Landon Burchard, Kason Long, Jet Hancock. Well, they really just need to try and score at the beginning and really pummel Puxco at the start.
And there's a Zimmerman too now, 6'4". Don't count him out, man. He can shoot the 3 as well for a big man, and his baseline jumper is sweet, man. You get him out there about 10 feet, he's gonna sink it every time.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, wake up, buddy.
Well, I haven't got to see Canton. I've gone up and down their schedule, but if you look at their losses, only 2 were kind of lopsided. The other 3 losses were pretty close. I know one was 4 points. I think one was 2. The other was 7, I think. Not to mention, one of them came against a team from Iowa. I don't know if that means anything or not, but, it's pretty strange. But I've only got to see Puxco twice, once in person and once from the game you did there against South Iron, and I don't see a team matching up the way they play. No team I've seen this year or in past years match up with the physicality, and they just have some kind of a swag. It just seems like the whole game for them is smooth. They never look like they're frustrated or in trouble or upset because they gave up a 3. They go on big runs. Like I said, they almost played keep away for a quarter against South Iron, which is a task in itself. So I have to stick with Puxco. Canton, I'm not going to knock them, obviously. because of how far they've come and a great record, just a 5-loss record. But, I have to stick with what I know and what I've seen, and that's Puxico. And, last week I said I thought they'd win pretty close, that they'd win the game, but it'd be close. Now I'm not going to say that anymore. I like Puxico by a dozen or more.
Hey, and Canton wears that Crowsville Tiger logo and colors, so I can't believe you ain't going to cheer for the Tigers.
No. There's only one red and white
Especially
tiger.
when they're playing Indians, it's the Tigers and the Indians.
Mark, I can make some comparison to some other tigers that aren't Mizzou, and you don't want that. So, no, there's only one red and white tiger. That's right behind me. That's Caruthersville, and we know it right here in the Boot Heel. I'll take on my red and white tigers against your red and white tigers any day of the week.
I'll give you a fun fact here about West Burlington in Iowa, the team that Canton lost to 76-59. They were 19-3 this year and got eliminated just a couple days ago, or just a week ago in their playoff. So it was, a quality Iowa team. I don't know how good. I believe it's Ia Isha or something is, but who knows?
Chris, what you got on this game, buddy? Anything?
Well, I was just, but man, I'm all Puxico, man. They until somebody beats them, I'm gonna say they're gonna win. Just like Jeremy said, I had them winning close against South Iron, but you can throw that out the window. I figure they'll win 10, 15 points. Canton, they lost. They lost last year. They went 21-8, and they lost in looks like the sectional game of Class 2 last year. But to me, for a team, a Class 2 team to beat Puxico, do you really realize how good they've got to be? I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and crown Puxico the champions because I think they're that good. They just ain't got no weak links. They're smart. They play well together. They've been through some adversity as well this year. Been in some tight games. Man, give me Puxico all day for whatever amount of money you want to go on it, because I'm a Puxico Indian fan right now, and I think that they're gonna cruise into the finals over Canton.
All right, guys, before we get out of here, we talk a little bit about Class 1. Risco got beat by Chadwick in a game that went overtime, so they were matching blow for blow. Risco had an exceptional year. They were in our top 5 all year long, man. Props to them on a fantastic year. Didn't quite work out the way that they wanted it, but man, what a year they had. And they've got a program down there that's on fire with Coach Blankenship and his crew, man. A couple of final scores from today. Potosi 49, Dexter 45. That is a final.
Wow.
And so the Bearcats bow out. And the Sykeston Bulldogs revenge on a earlier season loss to Farmington, winning that one 95-69. Any thoughts on any of that, guys?
Sykeston just getting revenge on that Farmington squad is impressive. And knowing that Friday now in the Class 5 quarterfinals, they're playing Webster Groves, who beat Vianney just a few minutes ago. This Webster Groves team, I saw a comment saying that they celebrated like they just won the state title, taking off their jerseys and running around. I don't know if it's the first time they've won a district or not, but if I'm Sykeston's coach, I'm throwing that at the TV and showing those kids every single day coming up till Friday at Sykeston.
Yeah, I think that Sykeston, I think they were a lot stronger in the second half. I didn't get to see the Farmington game, but Sykeston, we all know, is a powerhouse. We talked about the matchup that Campbell played against Sykeston that we were kind of asking questions about. Sykeston, I think, is a front runner. I'd like to say for state, but it's so hard to call because we stick to Class 1 through 3 so much that we're so much more familiar with it. We just know Sykeston is usually a powerhouse, and they sure look like it right now. And after a game like that today, putting up 95, it sounds like they're on a mission.
Yeah, plus they got PJ Farmer, and that young man, come into ninth grade as one of the best players in the state, and he's going to lead them on. And if I would feel very safe in saying I would ride with Sykeston as far as they can get with PJ Farmer, and the plus they got a 7-footer as well, I believe, right? Don't they got that 7-foot kid
Yes.
that? I mean,
Yes.
Unbelievable to match, have two of those, have him playing with PJ.
And then Wiggins too. Wiggins
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they're loaded, man.
Yeah.
Michael Tucker mentioned Eugene down there. Yeah, Eugene is in the other semifinal taking on Lincoln. And I'll tell you what, Eugene and Lincoln's going to be a great battle as well. As Eugene's 26-4 and Lincoln is 23-4. But some tail of the tapes, guys. Eugene averages 70 a game. Lincoln only averages 50. Eugene's giving up 49. Lincoln's giving up 40. Common opponent was Tipton. Lincoln beat them by 4 in overtime, and Eugene put a whooping on Lincoln. Put a whooping on Tipton, 87-56. And they also put a whooping on Blue Eye and turned it to a black eye. It's man, they won by 50 points. 50 points in a quarterfinal matchup, guys. I don't know that I've ever seen that. So we have seen a couple of things this year we haven't seen, and that's giving up only 4 points in the second half of a quarterfinal game, and then beating someone by 50 in a quarterfinal matchup. So Eugene's definitely going to be a wrecking. So if them and Puxico do battle, which I think they will, man, I can't wait to see that one. I'll be there for it.
Yeah, I believe in the coaches poll, Eugene's number 1, Puxico's number 4 still in Missouri. So in Class 2 at least.
Maybe that's who they're supposed to prove wrong, Charlie.
Maybe that's who they're supposed to prove
the voters.
Wrong. We found the mystery, Scooby-Doo.
I will say, Mark, you mentioned Potosi Dexter.
Yes.
Yeah, if you'd have told me the game was going to be that close, I'd have called you a liar. I mean, this is no knock on Dexter, but I really thought Potosi would put it on him.
Yeah.
The way they've
I
been
would
riding.
agree with that statement.
Yeah.
You can't never count Dexter out, man. They got some shooters, man.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
All right, guys. Any closing thoughts? Chris, we'll let you start, and then we'll go to Charlie and Jeremy, and we'll close this thing out.
Well, let me just talk about the Final Four for the girls right quick. You got Portageville losing to Principia last year, in the quarterfinal, playing Principia, who was the Class 2 runner-up last year. And then on the other side, you got Fairgrove, 26-4, who was the Class 3 champions last year, playing Lone Jack, who lost their district championship in Class 3 last year. You got 4 teams. Portersville and Principia averaging 60 a game. Both of them giving up about 35, 36 a game. And then Fairgrove averaging 60 a game, giving up 41. But Lone Jack averaging lower at 53 a game, but only giving up 33 a game. So, man, that other semifinal is going to be interesting to me. But, Fairgrove being the defending state champs in Class 3, you got some talent in that Final Four there. And, I'm just excited to be able to go and watch the Lady Dogs compete. And I know they will, and I know they're going to play hard. We're going to get to see some great basketball players on Wednesday and Thursday.
Absolutely. I just want to say, I didn't know that it was Wear Blue Day.
The Bulldogs are in the Final Four, my friend.
It's been Wear Blue week, Charlie. It's been that way all week, man.
Hey, Charlie, look, they even got blue shoes on, man.
Man, I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm repping the.
I got a glowing heart too, by the way. See, I got a glowing heart.
I'm rocking blue and white.
I'm repping Northern Iowa, man.
I go Northern Iowa.
They got eliminated by an 11 seed in a 12-seeded tournament. I don't want to talk about that. I got to see All Right drop 30 on 2 teams. But, I mean...
Hey, tell us a little bit about that Ohio Valley Conference. You went to the Arch Madness. Yeah, you went to the Missouri Valley.
It was great.
How was that?
It was me and my mom. We went up there Friday. Didn't get to see SIU play because they got bounced by Drake pretty easily. Even though that first half, for a second, the Dogs were in there, but it kind of no. We went over to Ballpark Village, caught Belmont versus who was that? It was Belmont versus Illinois State. Belmont just whooped Illinois State to I can't say that word on TV or on the air. And so we caught the last two games of the second round, which were Murray and Bradley versus. And I just want to mention Bradley's fans. I hate them so much now. They have a chant that is just "BU," and they would go around high-fiving each other in their ugly red merch, going "BU, BU, BU." It was getting sickening at some point, and we were sitting like right near them over here. And Murray held it close, but Bradley was a different machine there. And then Northern Iowa, who we were staying in the hotel of, so I have this shirt because of that, played 11-seeded Valpo, who dropped Illinois Chicago by like 25 the night before. It was a close one. It ended on a beautiful block with 3 seconds left, really, by I believe it was Cooper Schwieger of Valpo. He just blocked this man for nearly a buzzer beater of a block.
So it was a walk-off block.
It was a walk-off block. It was a block-off. It was a block-off.
Hey, we seen one of them at Bloomfield.
Hey, we'll let Charlie get done talking, and then we got to talk about that for a second. Go ahead, Charlie.
So the block-off happened, and we were like, oh, man, Northern Iowa lost. Why do we have these shirts on? We were going to look so stupid. Take the Uber home, and I somehow convinced my mom to go to the third round games because I was like, it'd be great. We could watch a March Madness Cinderella team in Drake. And she was like, yeah, sure. I don't care. So we walk in there. It was Drake versus Belmont. And Belmont, man, they came out that first half and made Drake look silly. They were just shooting the lights out on him. And that second half, just for anyone that watches college basketball, really, the name Bennett Starts, remember that for March, because that man is a dominant force. He was a D2 player last year, transferred from Northwest Missouri State with 3 other starters and the coach of Northwest Missouri, who's been a force in D2 for a long time.
Yeah, I think they won the national title last year, didn't they?
They did, and their coach Ben McCollum is known for winning.
Yep.
He's won 10 straight regular season conference titles, which is unheard of to me. And like I said, 4 out of 5 of Drake starters were D2 players from last year, and they looked like a well-oiled machine in that second half. Bennett Starts came out. I believe he had 26 in that game. And then the second game was Bradley versus Valpo. We were around a wide array of fans. A lot of Drake fans that are rooting for Valpo because they thought, we could beat them by 40. But Valpo comes out that first half and like Belmont dominated Bradley, who were the 2 seed. They were 2 seed getting beat by around 13 in that first half by Valpo. They had a player named All Right on Valpo. He averaged 28 in the 3 games that he played. And that second half, Bradley just came out, looked like a different beast. Their fans did boo a player that got injured and yelled, "Be a man," after his knee got actually destroyed. And so they miss a free throw. So I yelled, "Be a man and make the free throw," because you got to do it back. And after the game, Bradley wins, and their fans are trying to talk smack to me, 2 Drake fans that aren't even Drake fans. One of them's a SEMO fan, and the other one's an Iowa State fan. And then my mom, and it's an SIU guy and a Bradley guy. And the SIU fans telling us to shush. They're in the same state. They're rivals, Bradley and SIU. They like Peoria and Carbondale are not like generations apart from each other in Illinois. So it was confusing to me. And this Bradley fan's telling us to shush. You beat an 11 seed by like 5. Calm down.
You ended up winning that conference tournament.
Drake won that conference tournament. They won, I believe, 62 to 45 or so. I said,
SEMO blew theirs.
Yeah, they got dominated by SIUE.
Yeah, and then Arkansas State's down to Troy right now, 78-70.
Please lose. I don't want to see any local teams win. That's my amendment.
Yeah.
I got beef with SEMO, man.
What you got, Jeremy?
Well, see, I'm partial. I'm from Carbondale, so I love my Salukis. They had a down year, but I also am a SEMO alum, so I was disappointed to see them lose. But I'll go back. I'll let Charlie have fun with the Arch Madness. I'll go back just to one last point, and I kind of wish I had said it when we had the players on. Was that I know that we've had success from girls teams in the area in the past or anything, but I really feel like Portageville, their success this season, and we've seen, Chris, you've seen it better than all of us, but you've seen it too. The crowd's getting bigger and bigger, and the stronger, and the bandwagoners like myself all coming out, and I think that's just a great thing because it's just a fact of the matter that sometimes the girl sports get overshadowed by the boys sports. And right now, listen, almost this whole hour has been about the Portageville Bulldogs, the ladies in the Final Four, and I couldn't be happier for just that it's a local team, it's a Boot Heel team, we're the Boot Heel Sports Network, and it's just one more team from all the way down here in the Podunk region that we are that has the black cloud over it because we're just a bunch of thugs and whatnots. One more great team that's showing out, and man, would I love to see them bring home a state title. And I'm rooting for them 100%. I know a lot of people around here are. I love the comments from people that are not from Portageville saying "Go Dogs." Portageville guys, we're with you, and I wish I could be there to paint the town blue, and I wish I could be up at Mizzou, but I'll be there in spirit. And what a classy team! That's the second and third players we've had. We've had their coach. We got Classy Chris down there. It doesn't get better right now for Portageville. So I think that I like that the girls have really put a staple on the basketball season. They're going to be wrapping up our basketball season and our coverage. And what better way to send it off than to go to state, bring home some hardware to the Boot Heel. So go Dogs.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, you got anything else?
Man, I just got to give a shout out, hey, to that Boot Hill, that Bloomfield Christmas tournament, that walk-off block by Damari Reed to seal the win for the Hayti Indians in the championship game with thousands and thousands in attendance. Man, what a play that was, and I still remember
and millions and millions watching at home.
Man, over Twin Rivers, and that was one of the best games I ever seen, and probably one of the best finishes I've seen in person still yet. So yeah, just want to mention that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, don't forget we will parade tomorrow in Portageville, and then we will have the game right here on the YouTube and Facebook page, audio streaming only. Misha takes over when it comes championship time, man. So that's all we can do, but we will be there and have it for you, and it's free. Everybody likes free. You can hear the voice, Chris Brown, and
I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Running the scoreboard and running the control panel as well. So we'll be there. Thanks for everybody for joining us tonight. Thanks to Glow Farmer and Maggie Priggle and Coach Fowler for setting all that up, man. And go Dogs. We will see you in Columbia.